my mother carried on the publishing business of Roland Seitz for years and years and years after he passed away. And when my family moved from New Jersey to Schwenksville, Pennsylvania, my mother brought all this music. I'm talking a truckload of music with all of his compositions. And at that time, we lived on a farm, 32-acre farm, and opposite the main house was what we called the little house. And in the little house was all this music, and my mother would get, almost every day in the mail, would get requests from anywhere in the country and sometimes internationally to send a copy of this, that, or the other march to wherever. And then at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, she would have everything bundled up and packaged and stringed and everything else, and we would drive down to Schwenksville post office and put everything in the mail, and it would be delivered from there to wherever. Here goes. Well, then. Unfortunately, it was a cloudy and a semi-rainy day. But during the time when the band was congregated over on the square, I guess not far from this building, you had a huge band. And I remember your band director said, "Would you like to conduct?" I said, "Absolutely." And so I got a baton and conducted the band. And he was holding the music in front of me. And after a while, he realized that I didn't need the music to conduct my grandfather's march. I knew it very, very well, and the only thing that tricked me was you did the trio 3 times, and I only was prepared to conduct it twice. So the band kept playing, and I sort of faltered for a little bit. But that was a great experience. I will never forget that. And one of the joys of my life to be able to get up here on a podium, and everybody says, "Well, don't you get nervous?" No, I really don't, because I know how to beat two to a beat, two to a measure, and I love it so much. So I appreciate you guys coming out tonight and playing for me, and for one of yours and my most famous and wonderful marches, U of P March. The two men, the two S's, Seitz and Sousa, knew of each other very well. They were almost exact contemporaries, but they never met, mainly because Sousa was on the road with the Marine Band out of Washington, D.C. And my grandfather was a much more recluse person and spent almost his whole life in Glen Rock, Pennsylvania, his hometown, and did his compositions there. I have received innumerable, well, my mother, I should say, had received innumerable congratulations on my grandfather's marches and his techniques, and they're almost all of them are very distinctive. The other day I was listening to WRTI, the Temple Radio, and they do a program at 7:15 every morning called the Seuss Alarm. Well, they don't only play Seuss's, but they play other marches, and I turned the radio on in the middle of the march, and I thought, my golly, that sounds like a Seitz march. Indeed it was. It was one of the Chicago Tribune or Brooks Triumphal marches that they were playing. Number one, it's a phenomenally good march. And the trio is, you can sing the trio, and I guess you do here on campus.
When I hear the band march, I think of Penn.
The band march is the best song in our rep. Musically complex, but a lot of fun to play.
The band march brings the Penn community together.